going. All right, so let's stop that. I got this lovely Rainger Snare Trap and really enjoy it. But I found that it's not quite my flavor when running a stereo signal. And until recently, my brain couldn't figure out a way to make that work, and I just figured it out. And I'll show you how in just a sec. But before I get there, take a second, hit like, subscribe, comment with your thoughts, because we love all that. And I'll be right back. I'm actually going to put the snare trap where I would normally put it within the signal chain. Okay, so I've got it in here. I have my guitar running. I have the guitar running into the Beatronics Wannabe with just the blues breaker circuit on, into the snare trap, into the L cap, into the HX stomp, which is running basically as my interface. Everything is mono, mono, mono until you get to the L cap, and then it's stereo into the stomp. And that works just fine when I'm playing with this certain setting. Right? Still sounds great. It's cool. But y'all know me, I like to have some delay. So I want to put some delay on my signal on the guitar. Here's what happens. Cool, right? That doesn't actually sound bad. That doesn't sound bad. It actually sounds really good. And maybe that's a bad example. But what if I don't want to have the snare trap affected? What if I don't want it delayed? Or even better, what if I let's change some things up so that the snare trap isn't quite fully in time with what I'm doing, right? It's still got a little bit, but there's a little bit of lag. Sorry, it still has a little bit in time. Like I can feel it. I can still get that tempo, but there's a lag like on the snare and on the bass. So let's check this out now. So definitely gets what I would say a little bit more muddy. And it's not what I want. So question is, how do you get the snare trap to not be affected but still be able to run your stereo signals? And the way that I found it, I'm gonna mute this just so that those beats aren't getting to me. The way that I figured it out was through the stops return signal here. And you might be saying, well, duh, I mean, that makes sense, right? And it does make sense, but it wasn't something that I was necessarily thinking of until very recently. So now the way that I have this set up is, let's kind of go back into it. The way that I have it set up is I wanted to be able to have the snare trap be able to be put on and off. And sorry, it's back. You watch me change it. So it goes to wannabe, mono into the L cap, stereo into the stomp. That signal right there, okay. Now the snare trap is, because it doesn't have to have an input signal, it still creates the output signal. I have it going out into the mono, return on the stomp, and I have that set like here. I have it actually set up, if we go into the stereo mode, sorry, let me back out of that a second. I put that block right here at kind of the beginning before it splits into like a little stereo amp thing that I've got going on, but I really don't have any effects after that, minus a reverb, which I'll show you at the end. So I have it in here, and originally I had put it as mono because I'm just sending a mono one, right? So that, there we go. It's got the return. There you go. So that's just completely dry. Let's see if for fun, just change that like a little bit late on the bass. So here we go. I have it on. And I can even like turn up the volume there on the stomp to get it where I want it. But that's cool. It sounds great, right? Yeah, but listen to the El Cap now. Now listen to it. Maybe this will be easier without the snare trap. Catch that? So with the snare trap, using a mono return, it turns everything mono that's before. So the way that I have it set up now, it's going to be mono. So I don't want that. So I changed it to stereo and just as a stereo turn. Doesn't change the sound of the snare trap at all, but it definitely changes the El Cap. So that's it. That's what I wanted to show you. Great way to put really any kind of effect that you want to put in your signal without being affected by your signal path, right? So like if you, and it doesn't just work on the stomp, it could actually work on any type of device that you might have that allows you to send a return in and have that placed after the input of your signal path. So in the case of the stomp, it works very easily. That's how I do it. I hope that helped. Because I don't know, for me, when I found this out, when I figured this out, it really opened it up. Because I snagged the snare trap in a trade, was really stoked to try it, and it was great as I was running it in my signal path. But because it's mono, I had to put it before my stereo effects. It still sounded good until I turned on my wet effects, and then I was like, oh, that's too muddy. And imagine adding reverb to this. Oh, I didn't do that, but it's fine. Like the way that I'll show you. The way that the stomp works is anything, of course, past that gets affected. So if I really wanted to put reverb on this, I could do that. Right there. So that's got some reverb. And so does the El Cap. So that's it. Thank you for hanging. Hope it's good. Hope you liked it. Oh, peace.